Chapter 17, The Persistent Sin of Judah. And I'm sorry if y'all hear them cutting the grass in the background. I can't help that. The sin of Judah is inscribed with an iron stylus. With a diamond point, it is engraved on the tablet of their hearts. Now think of anything that is engraved, like a ring, a headstone. Anything that involves an inscription is permanent. And on the horns of their altars, while their children remember their altars and their Asherah poles by the green trees on the high hills. So Asherah poles, they have to do with pagan gods and worship. My mountains in the countryside. So they're doing all of this on God's mountains in the countryside. That's audacious. I will give up your wealth and all your treasures as plunder because of the sin of your high places and all your borders. You will, on your own, relinquish your inheritance that I give you. Not that God is going to make them. They will do it on their own. I will make you serve your enemies in a land you do not know, for you have set my anger on fire. It will burn forever. Curses and blessings. This is what the Lord says. Cursed is the person who trusts in mankind. We were never told or commanded to trust in man. It doesn't say that anywhere, right? He makes human flesh his strength, and his heart turns from the Lord. He will be like a juniper in the Arabah. He cannot see when good comes, but dwells in the parched places in the wilderness, in a salt land where no one lives. The person who trusts in the Lord. Now, do you see that? The person who trusts in mankind, the person who trusts in the Lord. You are not supposed to trust in people. Trust in the Lord, whose confidence indeed is the Lord, is blessed. Your confidence should be in the Lord and should be the Lord, not people. He will be like a tree planted by water. It sends its roots out toward a stream. It doesn't fear when heat comes, and its foliage remains green. It will not worry in a year of drought or cease producing fruit. Living water, eternal water. Won't have to worry about a thing. The deceitful heart. The heart is more deceitful than anything else and incurable. Who can understand it? I, the Lord, examine the mind. I test the heart. And this at the bottom says kidneys. To give to each according to his way, according to what his actions deserve. So if you do not have good intentions and you're saying one thing, but it's the opposite of your mind and your heart, God will know. That's why he doesn't go by your works. He doesn't. He goes by what's in your heart, what's in your mind, what's inside, whether it's good or evil. He who makes a fortune unjustly is like a partridge that hatches eggs it didn't lay. In the middle of his life, his riches will abandon him. So in the end, he will be a fool. A glorious throne on high from the beginning is the place of our sanctuary. And y'all should know that's heaven, God's house. Lord, the hope of Israel, all who abandon you will be put to shame. All who turn away from me will be written in the dirt with their corpses. For they have abandoned the Lord, the fountain of living water. And that living water is referring to this part here. Jeremiah's plea. Heal me, Lord, and I will be healed. Save me, and I will be saved, for you are my praise. Hear how they keep challenging me. Where is the word of the Lord? Let it come. Because they don't believe him. He's been telling them, this is what the Lord says. This is the Lord's declaration. It says that time and time again. These are not words from Jeremiah. He's been telling them what God has been saying. But they don't believe it because God has been saying things that are against them. That harm and punishment will be brought to them. So they don't believe that. They don't. They're going based off of what God told their ancestors that he would promise them. But they're forgetting the part of what they're supposed to be doing, and they're not doing it. But I have not run away from being your shepherd, and I have not longed for the fatal day. So Jeremiah has been persistent, consistent, and has been there. He hasn't refused his calling, so he wants to know why he's being punished. You know my words were spoken in your presence. Don't become a terror to me. You are my refuge in the day of disaster. Let my persecutors be put to shame, but don't let me be put to shame. Let them be terrified, but don't let me be terrified. Bring on them the day of disaster. Shatter them with total destruction. And at the bottom it says double. But he's saying, like, all these things that are happening, I'm also being attacked, right? Like, these punishments, I didn't do any of this. All these punishments should be going on them. But here I am being attacked by these people. Observing the Sabbath. This is what the Lord said to me. Go and stand at the people's gate, through which the kings of Judah enter and leave, as well as at all the gates of Jerusalem. Announce to them, hear the word of the Lord. Kings of Judah, and all the residents of Jerusalem who enter through these gates. This is what the Lord says. Watch yourselves. Do not pick up a load and bring it in through Jerusalem's gates on the Sabbath day. Do not carry a load out of your houses on the Sabbath day, or do any work, but keep the Sabbath day holy, just as I commanded your ancestors. They wouldn't listen or pay attention, but became obstinate, not listening or accepting discipline. So they were disciplined, but they didn't accept that because they didn't change their ways. However, if you listen to me, this is the Lord's declaration, and do not bring loaves through the gates of this city on the Sabbath day, but keep the Sabbath day holy and do no work on it, kings and princes will enter through the gates of this city. They will sit on the throne of David. They will ride in chariots and on horses with their officials, the men of Judah and the residents of Jerusalem. This city will be inhabited forever. Then people will come from the cities of Judah and from the area around Jerusalem, from the land of Benjamin and from the Judean foothills, from the hill country and from the Negev, bringing burnt offerings and sacrifices, grain offerings and frankincense, and thanksgiving sacrifices to the house of the Lord. But if you do not listen to me, to keep the Sabbath day holy, by not carrying a load while entering the gates of Jerusalem on the Sabbath day, I will set fire to its gates, and it will consume the citadels of Jerusalem and not be extinguished. Literally, that took a left turn real quick. He said, if y'all don't obey, I will burn it down.